Hello and welcome. Kicking off with the usual disclaimer, as the title of the video says, this is speculation, which I cannot guarantee will not become spoilers. In this case, which is a first, the movie's already come out. While I haven't seen it, inevitably there are leaks, and I have not been able to avoid all of those. But here I will avoid actual spoilers. So, the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been trumpeting this catchphrase since the first DC Fandom promotional segment for Black Adam back in 2020. The main issue, and there are a few, with this statement as applied to this particular film, is that by the director's own admission, it will still only be about to change even after the inevitable mid to post credit scene. Quoting a July Deadline Hollywood article, Jaime Collet-Serra dismisses appearances from Shazam and Superman in Black Adam. Our movie is an original story. By the time the movie ends, he doesn't know who Shazam or Superman is. Cover story. Half-truth and prevarication. The real reason that Black Adam will only have met the Justice Society in this outing is because it is not set on the same Earth that we've seen in previous DCEU films. Nor is it set on the same Earth as the Shazam films, which themselves aren't set on the main DCEU Earth either. Now, hear me out. First DCEU multiverse tease, Shazam. On the astronomically unlikely chance that anyone ever saw him during the brief daylight fight with the resurrected Superman during Justice League. No legitimate company in their right minds that is expecting to make a profit is going to market the Snyderverse Batman as a toy for children, as shown in the first fight with Savannah. Also, the explanation that Henry Cavill simply was not available for the Superman cameo was just a cover story for the fact that the Superman in the Shazamverse is not him. In the first Fandom presentation, and in trailers released since, the Justice Society is described and depicted as an organization of enough long standing that it has new recruits of second and third generation heroes. The trailers also strongly imply that it has worldwide authority. Granted, we're in a comic book world already, but you know what would truly strain the suspension of disbelief? One, that such an organization existed prior to the events of Man of Steel, as its apparent longevity and reputation would demand, without ever having been mentioned in previous DCEU films. Or two, that such an organization could have been created and developed its reputation and membership turnover within only the time since The Suicide Squad, which, being the latest DCEU film that did not mention the JSA, indicates they weren't formed yet. I refuse to believe that even Amanda Waller has that kind of influence. Oh yeah, I'm glad I was delayed in getting to shoot this video. First, to see later trailers reveal details like her appearance, along with ham-handedly reused footage from other DCEU films in an attempt to gaslight us into thinking it's all one universe. Second, since the film itself has already premiered, the inevitable leaks. And in regards to the big leak, same as with Amanda Waller. My point is that there is no way that a publicly recognized multi-generational Justice Society could possibly exist in the previously depicted DCEU within the amount of time that's supposed to have passed. None. At least no way that would not take an entire standalone movie of its own to explain reasonably. I mean, of course, I'm still excited to see the film, but I'm prepared to need not a grain but a pillar of salt to accept whatever conflicting explanation it attempts to foist on us. That said, I'll just continue to ramrod through the theories I've been formulating for years now. Since the earliest promotional information on the Flash film was first released, it indicated it was going to be closely tied to the Flashpoint storyline. Another cover story While using the basic premise of Flashpoint, the final outcome of the film is actually going to accomplish what the Crisis on Infinite Earths storyline did in comics. Introduce characters and storylines across several different universes, which by the end will be merged into a single continuity. Think about it. The last ostensibly canon appearance of the DCU Flash, as currently still played by Ezra Miller, which I'll of course address shortly, was actually in the CW Arrowverse Crisis on Infinite Earths. You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its savior. Dr. Fate offers Black Adam this choice, but eventually he will have neither option. Nor will this Dr. Fate. I'm excited to see Pierce Brosnan in a superhero movie, but I speculated since his casting that this will be his only appearance as Fate. I can see him returning as Kent Nelson, but as a spirit within the realm of the Helmet of Naboo. Prediction is Kent Nelson Fate will not survive the climax of Black Adam and will be succeeded by a younger character introduced in the course of that film. I'd expected events along these lines to feature in the previously mentioned inevitable mid to post-credit scenes. I don't expect it. At least one of these speculations is wrong, but I'm taking the Schrodinger's cat approach. Black Adam, mid-credit, Golden Lightning and a Scarlet Blur coalesce into the Flash we know in a Times Square analog. Giant screens on skyscrapers show news footage of the conflict between the JSA and Black Adam. Flash mutters to the effect, still not the right one, tears off to disappear into the void between universes. In the Flash, this one might expect to actually end, the multiversal shenanigans resolved, with the main character arriving in a recreated post-crisis Earth to then unmask and reveal a different actor in the costume. I mean, whatever amends Ezra Miller is able to make, his status as the DCU Flash is unlikely to continue. In fact, if it wasn't already the ending, it's probably what his most recently announced reshoots have taken care of. As for additional scenes, mid-credit, a bolt of blue lightning strikes in Metropolis. Black Adam stands from the default hero landing pose, turns to see he's at the Superman monument. That sums up the speculation and spoilers portion with a semi-suggestion thrown in. The real suggestion, however, that The Flash film reuses the aforementioned CW-verse crisis meeting between the Ezra Miller and Grant Gustin versions of the character. With Ezra almost certainly leaving the role after this film and Grant's final season about to begin, it would be a nice swan song for both. Not to mention that with the merger-related chaos surrounding both Warner Brothers Discovery and the CW, it may be the swan song for many DC film and television franchises. But that's a whole other giant economy-sized can of worms. If this video piqued your curiosity, please feel free to take advantage of the like, subscribe, and share buttons provided by the YouTube folks. Thanks for your time. Stop back again.